in the past, this particular guy, I'll take one guy as an example, right? This particular guy would basically do, I guess I would call it like what interests him game, right? Have you guys heard these like theories where you like when you meet a girl, you should talk about what interests you, get really excited about it, and then it will like, and just keep talking about cool stories that you've come up with and that you have, and then the girl will be engaged and interested in that.
Is that the transfer of passion? What the idea behind that?
I don't really know. I don't like it, so I don't know. This is just what like people have told me. I'm gonna basically show you that the other way, almost doing the exact opposite, is the better way to game. The exact opposite meaning everything you say to the girl should be designed to get her to talk back to you. Everything that you do should be designed to get her to just invest more skin in the game into your interaction. Even anything that's like high value or anything that that exudes value, right? Value or pre-selection or social proof. All of those things just spur investment from the girl. The idea to get true persuasion, to get true results here, right, is to externally, the words that you say, it's purely designed to get them to talk back, get them to talk as much as possible, and then you dive down deeper into the topics that you guys discuss, right? I've been friends with Owen for a long time, right? I've been friends with him for like 5 years. There's nobody in here who doesn't know who Owen is, right? Tyler, Owen, you guys know? Okay, good. I was somewhere the other day at an RSD thing and they didn't know who he was. I'm like, I think you're in the wrong room. I don't know if you're here, it's fine, I'll welcome you, but I think you got to watch at least something first. And I actually had a big talk with him because for like my style of game is like almost contradictory, like exactly to a lot of like really old school RSD, like normal type terminology and styles of game, right? So when I was talking with Owen, when we've been, over the years, it was always like, yeah, haha, like you do your, like your guys do this thing and I do this thing. And it's two very different things. So because I've been teaching pickup for a long time, and then when I kind of came on board with RSD, it was like, all right, well, I'm going to teach this stuff. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. It works, so go ahead and teach it. So it's kind of cool to kind of interweave it into the traditional RSD concepts, right? Well, and the way I look at it is this: at the end of the day, I've taught a lot of weird motherfuckers game, and they've had a lot of success. I've never seen a guy get success purely from learning how to feel good about yourself when you're out there. You can't just inner game your way through the night. Does that make sense? The inner game can help you do specific external phrases and techniques, but you have to have those down or it's not going to work. And the better external game you get, the better results you're going to get, right? So let's run through this. I'm going to get the new guys first. I'm already going to know your guys' answer. What's your favorite opener? Let's start this way.
I usually just say
Hey?
hey. Take them there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the one I was using last night. It's just, hey, I'm Mark. Yeah.
Do you pause like that too? Like you're trying to remember your name or?
No.
Okay, that'd be pretty funny. Hey, I'm Luke.
That wouldn't be bad. Maybe try that.
Right? And the irony is this, right? Once you have like it's all very cyclical, right? Because like that would totally work, but that opener kind of goes against my typical style of opening. But if like anything that you say where you draw it out like that and you put nuances to it, that you do really well with a lot of confidence, then you can kind of go back and be like, well, then you can say anything, and it is just how you say it, right? But you have to. It's like I'm really good at day game, and I almost never day game anymore. Like I got a bunch of numbers during the day in Miami. I got like one yesterday. It was leaving the airport. Like, but the reason why is because I do so much night game that it helps me with the daytime. It's not that different, right? So it's kind of like with this whole like getting state from within. Like I never work on state at all. I have a rule. I'm not allowed to work on my inner game for myself. Every time I try, I'm allowed to go to Bikram yoga, and that's it. Because it's obviously not state building, but like I feel like it's very meditative. But it also like helps. Like I feel like I'm combining a bunch of shit, which is why I love Bikram yoga. Because like I feel like it helps with stretching. I'm super out of shape, so like it's like a really good workout at the same time, and it's like going to the sauna, and it's like meditation. So I'm like, oh fuck, it's all these things at once, and it's like in Vegas, it's nothing but strippers, so, but like in a normal environment, so it's a pretty cool setup, right? So anyway, that's the only like inner game spiritual thing that I allow myself to do. But that being said, I find myself regularly going completely off script, off my routine stack, off of my external game, and just going direct or going and just saying, hey, for example, right? But because I've done it so much, and because I have so much confidence coming from the competence that I've established, I feel super confident to just say anything when I walk up to the girl, right? That being said, if you aren't actively working on the conversion rate of improving what you're saying at each stage of game, like, well, let's say you can open fine, but you have a little. Anybody here have trouble hooking? Maybe a little bit because you're probably kind of new, right? Trouble hooking, you a little bit hooking, right? It's there's just very specific things that you can say to get the hook. Like, you get really good at disqualification, and you'll hook within like what? I guess like the third sentence every time. You do a lot of heavy disqualifications now, right? Do you still do it? Yeah. Do you notice how like that alone hooks the set pretty much if you do it right?
Sure.
I mean, like that alone can hook the set. So the reason why I want to emphasize that so much is because you can just focus on like a very specific part of the toolkit, right, of the skill set of game to fix certain issues. And once you fix them, you have immense confidence because it's like, I've achieved it. Like, I've leveled up now, you know? Remember the old like Nintendo video games, how you'd get to a certain level, they'd give you like a code and you had to like write it down, right? And you'd punch it in to get to that next level again. Last game I remember was Soldiers of Fortune that was like that. It's kind of like that with game when you focus on external game. It gives you crazy inner game when you focus on improving your conversion rate of hooking. Go out tonight and try. For example, if hooking's your sticking point, the biggest high impact thing you could do is purely just try to hook as many sets as possible. And even if the girl's like loving you, be like, no, I need to practice hooking, not hooker, hooking. And like just keep walking around and try to hook as many sets as possible. Because once you realize that it's just a skill to learn. Like, I can teach any one of you to have like a 98% free throw shooting rate. Mine's like 99, almost 100%. I actually have it's not a Guinness World Record, it's an NCAA record for most free throws shot in a row at a NCAA March Madness tournament. It's like they always do an expo for the NCAA, and the fans come in and like go through the expo. I still have the record for most free throws shot at this thing because I'm super out of shape. Most of the free throws, I was barely even looking at the hoop. My favorite date, I don't think I've ever told you guys this. My favorite date is to take girls to an arcade and like play around and fuck around in the games. So I'm terrible at air hockey. If any of you guys were at that, yeah. You remember that? I love air. It's the only thing in my life that I love that I'm just like how much I love it is so like inverse to how bad I am at it. I'm just so bad at air hockey. But then so after like the girl then like thinks that she's competitive and beating me, and they'll take over that like basketball game, you know, where you shoot it and comes to you, shoot it and comes to you, and I'll just destroy her on that. So it's like a fun little thing, right? But the only reason why I can talk the way I can is because it's mechanical. It's just it's very specific techniques to do it. Hooking is exactly the same thing. There's no way that you can feel better about yourself and then suddenly start hooking all these girls. Right? To me, that just makes so much, it blows my mind that anyone would think the inverse of what I just said. That like you can just focus on state transference or feeling a certain way and then hook these sets. What working on your state does, or state transference or feeling a certain way does, is it makes you feel a lot better when it doesn't hook. Because you're like, oh, I have an abundant mentality, who cares? On to the next one. Does that make sense? Which is a good mentality to have, sort of. Right? The problem is if at a certain point you can be so outcome independent that you just don't care about any of it, and then you have no conversion rate and you go home alone every night. Does that make sense? I've done a kind of a manipulative job to myself. We all manipulate ourselves, right? I've forced myself to manipulate myself to enjoy not the process of game, but enjoy winning. So when I win, that's when I have fun. I don't necessarily. It's not like I'm drawing my energy from the girl. I'm drawing it from the collective experiences of the night, and that allows me to kind of be motivated and power through each set to the next one and the next one. You know, for the guys that have heard that for a while, right? Like you've heard it for months now. The whole "you're so friendly," "where are you from?" da da da. That will work, and you guys will learn it. So I'll show it to you. I sculpted that because I wanted to do a 3-hour routine stack. That if I just gave these words to somebody, not myself, but to somebody else, could they get laid? Like a good percentage of the time, like at least 1/3 of the time, could they get laid if they just did this routine stack and didn't have good inner game? Like that was the guy had to be and kind of smell a little bad. Like the guy had to be a little weird. To me, that's why I got into game, because I wanted to learn how to maneuver my way through social interactions. I didn't want to learn a high volume game. That was the opposite of what I wanted to learn. So the more of this stuff that you focus on, the more you extrapolate your own version of the, like, I don't even want to call them routines, of the plug and play frameworks that I give to you guys. I like to use the phrase plug and play because it's like what you just said. You took the thing that I showed you and you kind of tweaked it a little bit, made it a little bit more personal to yourself, right? The cool thing about that, I actually do that as well. I don't do the full, oh wow, I love your shoes. I love the way they match your belt. Cool, oh, thank you, keep it up. Wow, you're actually so friendly. Where are you? Like, I don't do that. I do my own version of that. I don't know if I ever told you guys this actually. I do my own version of that. I have to film my entire hot seat with the next like 8 weeks. So I'm pounding out a bunch of sets and trying to think of like what I want in it. So I've been thinking very specifically about how I game. And like a little bit more than just like if I were to go out and do it. I'm kind of like really breaking it down a little bit more. And I realized that like that's something that I created for like anybody to go off and do and have success with it. But I still kind of change it a little bit. I change that framework to be just how I want to be. Like I'm a lot more crass and crude than that framework actually is. Like my openers are way more suggestive, way more sexual, but not direct than that 6 categories of openers routine stack thing. I mean, I'll regularly say nice tits, and then the girl will be like, what? And I'll go, I said, you have nice fucking eyes. What did you hear? And then she's like, no, you didn't. And then, but I say it so persuasively that she's like, for half a second, she's wondering if she actually, like, what she heard. And then I go, come here, and I give her a hug, and I go, where are you from? And then I go into the bit that way. I will regularly try to put my drink on a girl's butt, like as she's walking.
Now, would you say that's direct game or indirect game?
Super. That's the awesome part about it. It's super indirect, because yeah, it's super indirect. Because, okay, pretend I never said that. Who like raise your hand if you think it's pretty direct what I just said. Like no punishment because it sounds fairly direct, right? I mean, you see me do some of this kind of stuff, right? A little bit of it. You've seen me do the glass on the butt thing? No? I was doing it in Atlanta a little bit. I think, huh?
I've heard of it.
Oh, you've heard of me talking about it? Yeah. So basically, like it's really good for you to do like in mid game. You don't really know what to do, so you have to do like a mini defibrillator to like spur the set a little bit further. But I like to open with it as well if the girl has a really, really nice butt. So basically, like she's walking past, and I kind of like just look at her and smile, just like get there's a little bit of eye contact, and then I kind of look back, and then I'll go back to this whole direct versus indirect thing. But I kind of look back, and I look back at her, and I go, and I take my drink, and like I kind of like, it's called like a crab step basically. Like I kind of go like this, like I stutter just a little bit to see, and then what that does, it causes her to kind of stop, and I go over and I go just 1 second, and I try to put the glass on like very meticulously, almost like I'm a chemist with like a Bunsen burner. I'm like, and I try to set it on her ass and see if like it will stay. And every time I do that, if you play it right, if you kind of sell it a little bit, she'll like pop her butt back just a little bit. If you just creepily like walk up to her and go, right, then immediately she's gonna like freak out. But if you're kind of meticulous with it and you're very careful with it, then she'll like pop it back, and I'll go, just hold on, I'm trying to see if I can use it as a shelf. When you say it, you have to kind of say, like, you have to kind of explain it, right? Where it's like, I'm trying to see if I can use it as a shelf. Hold on. And that like it's not me telling her that I'm interested in her at all. It's just me functionally, and that's going on in my head. I'm literally just trying to functionally prove, can she hold on to my drink? Because I need to go on my cell phone for a second. Right? That's like what's going on in my head. So anyway, I put it down there and I go, hold on, let me see if it will balance. And then, all right, cool, let me see if I can take a drink out of it. And like my face is getting so close to her ass within 5 to 8 seconds. Like it's so quick that I'm just being so suggestive that it pushes the set really far. But I'm also disqualifying at the same time. That's why it's indirect, right? Because once I do it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm sucking like my drink out of the new ass shelf glass, right? And then she's like, oh, ha ha ha, no, it doesn't work like that. I go, let's see if you can walk with it. And like every once in a while, there's a girl who will like pop it back so far and like do this walk, and like it will actually stay for a little bit, and then it's about to so I scoot, and then I always like, I was about to tip over, and as it tips over, I'm actually pretty good at this now. Like as it's about to tip over, she's like 2 to 3 steps away. I just grab it like this, and I start drinking. I'm like, good job, take care, and like I just start to walk away. And they always will say something. It maybe isn't like super like pro Luke, but she'll say some reaction like, what did you do that for? Or or what are you doing? What's your name? They'll say something, right? And then that's when I get sucked back into the conversation. So it's that mentality of I'm just functionally trying to prove if like the physics that we have at hand will make this work. That's all that I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell her that her ass is so nice, I want to be inside of it. I'm not telling her ass is so nice, I want to eat it like groceries. Raise your hand if you know the reference. There you go. From Dallas, you would know the reference.
Yeah.
Right? Gotta eat the booty like groceries. It's a song. So then anyway, it's just very functional. It's like, the way that you can make anything sexual and not have it be direct, like boy likes girl, boy wants to like fuck girl, is you make it in the third party or third person. Anything that's in the third person that's sexual will always be way more effective than like, yeah, you're hot. What's your name? Unless you're gonna do crazy volume. Like if you're gonna do direct game, it's not like I think indirect game is so much better than direct game. It's just you're probably not gonna do the volume necessary to make direct game work very well. You understand? So that's why it's not direct, because it's very suggestive, but I'm not really telling her that I'm attracted to her. Even my compliments, like my compliments, I would never say, if I'm trying to do a compliment opener, I'm never gonna say you're cute. To me, you're cute is more of a direct opener, because I'm conveying that I'm physically attracted to her. Does that make sense? Whereas instead, if you say, like basically if you reward her for something that she's done, right? Like what would be a compliment opener?
Cute dress, something like that.
You could even say it better, right? The way you wear that dress is amazing. Keep it up, right? Because it's like this thing that she's attained, like she's done something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So like, you know what it means like third person means? Like third person point of view?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, cool. So like when I'm talking to her, I'm not saying, wow, I love your ass. What's your name? That's like a feeling that I have. That's like a very congruent feeling that I have that I'm trying to give to the girl. And then like, I love your ass. That would be directly between me and her. But when I walk up to her and I use the prop of the glass, like the cup, right? And I put it, on her butt, it's not about me or her. I'm just trying to see if this is going to work, right? I'm just trying to see if this can physically balance on that butt. I'm trying to see, like, is the top of your butt parallel with the ground? Like, is there enough depth there that I could actually set this for future reference? Not even for right now, just so I know that in the future, could I actually do this? Does that make sense? In pickup, we always talk about how conspiracy theories, like in jokes, are really good, but how do you build them? Third person type shit is always going to help you build conspiracy theories. Because you're both investing into this thing that's outside of both of you. I think direct game is purely when I only do direct game when I'm bored and want like to have a little bit of fun and fuck with the shit, I call it, right? When you're just like fucking around. Because it's not that it won't work. It's just like a girl that like I see, like there's this one girl at Nikki Beach on the last night in Miami that was like the hottest girl I'd seen in several weeks. And there was a girl at Hyde. She's on my Instagram. Her friend is on my Instagram. Those are the only two girls. Those are like the two hottest girls I'd seen in maybe 2 months, really. I would never go direct on those two girls. Why? Because you can't have an abundant mentality when there's not an abundance, right? Like you can't fake an abundant mentality in a situation where they're just, you can't have an abundant mentality of tens because none of us are Sam Rima. Sam Rima is the casting director of Playboy. Like we're not gonna have an abundance of tens, so us pretending to isn't gonna, like us lying to ourselves saying that we have this huge abundance isn't going to help anything. It just makes us more okay when the results don't happen. Does that make sense? It's a really harsh reality, but I firmly believe it. So if I were you, I would go super indirect, especially if that's how you've been opening. I would go functional even, right? So I think the most indirect you can go is a functional opener. Just like it's about the lowest risk, lowest reward that you can do, and then try to build it up from there, and then go back to going direct if you just enjoy it, right? There's two different things. There's the game that you're going to do in your life. Like on boot camp, a lot of guys like misunderstand this, right? They misunderstand that there's a certain type of game that you do when you're practicing to get better at game, to get the skill set down. And there's also another type of game that you're going to do that is like adaptable to your life, that's like reasonable that you're going to go off and do all the time. Does that make sense? And like on a typical boot camp, for example, you're opening way more sets than you'd probably do in your normal life. So you take a situation like this, right? If you're going indirect is what you need to do on those girls that are that attractive, right? So to practice it, I would start with functional. So what's an example of functional opener? Huh? What's the time? Yeah. I love the way you talk. You're like, what time? Time, need to know now. Yeah, what's the time? I would even go further than that and make it as beta as possible, right? For practice, just so you can see like what's like the lowest like possible risk, lowest reward that you could start from, and can you build the whole set up from there? That will make you really good when you're calibrating your direct game. What that does allows you to like develop your micro expressions really well. Well, micro expressions are basically the little subtleties in the facial expressions that she gives you. If you're starting from this like super low risk, low reward open, where it's like a borderline grunt at the girl, right? And you're building it up from there, you're able to kind of judge everything that you're saying perfectly. Whereas if the only thing you do is very direct style of opening, what's going to end up happening is you get good screening ability, but you don't really have the ability to judge the expressions that the girl's giving you necessarily. Yeah, so like functional opener, right? So you could even start like super beta. Like walk and be like, oh, excuse me, terribly sorry to bother you. I know it's super annoying, but do you happen to have the time? My phone just died. So you justify it, you tell her that you're actually being annoying. Like start yourself, get good at like placing your game like on a bookshelf in certain places, right? I think that's like the biggest reason why this is going to help your game the most. Because when you start, like if you open and you put yourself at like the lowest rung on the ladder of like position within that set, and it's up to you to build it all the way up to the top, then what's gonna all the way to the close, right? Then you're getting good at these like micro left or right decisions throughout the interaction. And then when you go back to being direct, you can sense these things a lot easier, and then you can kind of combine it all. So it's not like you got to do this forever. It's just a really good step, a really good exercise, rather. I like doing it all the time because I like knowing that like, okay, so I started this at like I started and I walked up to her and she thought I was kind of a pussy, and then now I'm railing her 90 minutes later. Like that gap to me is an extremely fun like gap to bridge, right? Whereas like if I just walk up to girls and I'm like, yeah, you're cute, what's your name? And she's like, oh, like she dismisses me. Oh, you're cute, what's your name? And like, oh, she happens to like relatively tall white guys with blonde, like long hair. Well, longish hair now. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like that style of game, it's like cool, you're gonna get laid off of it, but you're not gonna build the like binary left or right decision making that's starting really low and building up will get you. Yeah, I mean what you're doing, I'm definitely not trying to say like what you're doing is bad. It's like, I mean, he's got really sick game, like super sick game. It's just, it still is a little bit of a screening tool, right? You're just, the problem with it is actually that you're like relatively handsome, you have an accent, and your game is pretty tight. So you almost, because of those things, you almost won't know that your opener is doing good or bad for you, because those things are going to carry you anyway. Does that make sense? That's why it's like try to go in like a little bitch, like have negative body language, like walk up to her and just be like, hi, sorry, do you know the time? And the girl will be like, yeah, let me get my phone, and then try to build it up from there. And that's like a set like that you practice in, and learning to enjoy the fact that you're actually coming in with less alpha qualities than you know you could. That's going to give you crazy good skill building opportunities. Right? I love doing that in like hired gun, social circle, or like strip club type settings. When you open a really hot girl using this like aggressive break and rapport, neg, banter type thing, the problem is you can't go anywhere from that. Okay? When you open with this like borderline, like even chody kind of open, like, hey, do you know what time this club closes? Right? I'm new around here. Do you know what time it is? 3 o'clock? Oh, no, 5? Oh, okay, thank you. And you're building up from there. All of a sudden, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, you can do the whole, oh, hey, wait, what are you working with back there? Let me put my glass on you. I'm going to put my glass on your ass for a second and see what happens. Right? And she'll go, what? I go, what? I'll just like repeat after it. And now we're in this banter kind of thing. Yeah. And then now I've come from this place of me being this like chody, boring guy to now being, I'm like the disparity of now where I'm at with her, you get a lot of bonus points for, right? Whereas if you just come in super alpha, super aggressive, you kind of only have to pull back into this now calm kind of demeanor.
That's exactly what I've been doing,
yeah. Yeah, but you've toned it down a lot though, right? Like when you first, like even like in the room, like you and your buddy would like you have a lot more physical energy, you know what I mean? Or like when you go eat or when you go do anything, anytime you see, but you're both kind of hopping around, right? You've kind of mellowed out a lot of it, I think. I feel like most PUAs can tease fairly well. Like if you go and like open a few girls, I feel like that's kind of the main tool that guys are kind of trying to do, right? Is that fair? Like how do I get her to laugh, or how do I get her to like be intrigued with me? Your main tool is to like tease her a little bit, right? Like consistently throughout the interaction. So the break rapport categories is a way to kind of package up all of the teases into a way where you can kind of grab them when you need them. The rewarding, though, is what's more powerful. The rewarding is what you do to spur up the interest and goad them into basically talking more and more about the thing they were just talking to. It's a lot more powerful than just coming up with cool stories about yourself, basically, right? So let's do the rewarding drill. Have you been doing that? The kiss on the foreheads?
Oh yeah.
I think it's money. I think it's it's maybe in the top 5 things I ever learned about game was to reward girls with kisses on the forehead, right? I've mentioned this a few weeks ago. Who are the only 2 guys that kiss a girl on her forehead?
Dad.
Her dad, and who else? Boyfriend, husband, like lover, right? So when you kiss a girl on the forehead, there's a lot of like deep-rooted future projections of physicality that you're doing. It's really manipulative. It works really, really well. So anytime like a girl says, so you ask her what's her favorite hobby, and she's like, oh, I'm super into roller hockey. Oh my God, that's amazing! And grab her by the face and kiss her on the forehead. Okay, that would be an example of the reward. Okay, does that make sense? Cool. The kiss on the forehead and the kiss on the forehead is money, right? It's so crazy how some guys like can't get kiss closes, but it's very mechanical. You can just, everything that the girl says, everything that she responds back to you, you can just kiss her with like a half moon down her face and then get the kiss pretty much 100% of the time, okay? So we have the verbal, what's another example of a verbal reward? Right, go for it. What do you think is another verbal reward, or physical reward, sorry?
Like, yours and hugs, right?
Yeah, I think did you say hug?
I said those, yeah.
Okay, cool, so hug, right?
Hugs.
Yeah, high five is great, right? Just throw your arm around her, like a side hug. You know, you guys know about all different types of hugs. You have the side hug. You have the Christian A-frame hug where you leave room for the Holy Spirit, where you hug her like this, right? If you went to a religious school like I did, they would separate you guys and say, like school dances, you gotta leave room for the Holy Spirit. And there's that like YouTube video that became really famous where it was like, hell no, this is my Jesus square. And it's like this, like your Jesus square is like the area around a girl's vagina. It's like, hell no. It's like this whole like super like silly dance. Hell no, you can't go. This is my Jesus square. Have you guys ever seen that video? It's so funny to show girls. Like once you show a girl that video, like the biggest prude turns the biggest slut ever. She's like, what the fuck is this? That's so funny, pussy. It's really, really funny. It's like that. I have this like YouTube video routine stack where it's like a series of videos. It's so funny, dude. I'm like saying a lot of things like that I haven't said before, I think, in this talk that are like my real game kind of stuff. Like it ends with Christian the Lion. And with like Christian the Lion, we're both just like, I've seen it maybe 50, no more. I've seen it at least 75 times. I've used this video to fuck at least 20 girls. I wouldn't say this is the only thing I did in the set, but it definitely helped me a lot. I don't know if I would have been able to fuck at least half of those without Christian. Who's seen Christian the Lion? I've mentioned it to you guys before. Okay, yeah, you've seen it, yeah. By the end of it, so I've seen it this many times, I'm still like crying by the end of this video. She's crying. I'm like trying to like grab our tears for lube. And I'm grabbing her tears in mine to like put on my dick to fuck her for lube. It's so funny. Because the Christian the Lion, so it starts with like, so like the very first video, right? It starts with like the hell no Jesus square or like jizz in my pants. You guys ever seen jizz in my pants?
The Lonely Islands.
Yeah. I mean, any Lonely Island video is a great like, let's watch that later back at my place. You could pretty much bring any girl in the club to your hotel room with any Lonely Island video, right? And then you just escalate it from there to the Christian the Lion video. And it goes to like music videos, then it goes to Christian the Lion videos, and then you're just fucking her. That routine stack is pretty solid. More verbal, so that was good. What got me on that? I think it was the A-frame hug, right? Cool, so let's go physical reward. A couple more physical rewards. Fist bump. It's like a good standard one, right? The fist bump is like, it's kind of better than the high five. It's not as sexual as the hug. Like the fist bump's great. You can never fist bump, high five, hug, or kiss on the forehead too many times in a set.
I get them thumb war as well. Really
Thumb war is great.
smashes the engagement.
I wouldn't say problem. The caveat with the thumb war is I would argue that's almost more of a break and rapport. So at first, like you'd have to like reward it and then go to because like you do a proper thumb war routine. That's been like a routine, and I mean, that's on like alt dot. The further you build it out, the more success you're gonna have with it. It doesn't need to be like, it's kind of like when you high five a girl, right? It's like let's say you go to high five a girl, she just doesn't high five you back, right? So you go, oh, high five, and she's just like,
Yeah.
and you're like, right? Like eventually you'll get it, right? Eventually then you do the maneuver. It's not about like making it happen the first time. It's not about like winning the thumb war. What's about is it's about that friction, that disparity of either calling her out for cheating or you cheat, right? Like what Homeboy was saying. The goal is to spark it, so now you get that investment going, okay? So let's do any more rewards? Can you think of another? So we have a fist bump, hug, high five, what else?
Hug with the spinning hug.
Like you come in like this?
No. Hug her and you spin.
Okay, yeah. Like the hug and like lift up and spin? Yeah. Like the PUA move number 2?
Yeah.
Once you get to MPUA level 14, you can do that. What else? A couple more physical rewards.
I was using something like this that I grabbed around neck with hands, so I started to talk to her closer.
Yeah.
It was like touching.
Totally. How about the high five hug? You guys know about the high five hug? It's money. No? All right, you stand up here real quick. These are all things that like girls have taught me that then I've used. The best pickup coaches of mine have been girls that I've hooked up with and then left me. Like they've all taught me the most shit. Ready? So high five hug is like this. Oh, high five hug. So you get the high five, right? High five and you go. So do it to me. Do what I'm doing. Oh, just keep doing it. High five hug. You guys see it? Super corny and dorky, but every girl will be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God. You guys got it? The high five hug. And then you just do the thumb thing where it's like this. Thanks, you have a seat. That's a great reward. What else?
Glowing.
Yeah, that's kind of what he said. Be careful with the claw. The mentality of using the claw should be to reward, not to escalate. If you use the claw to escalate, it can be very miscalibrated sometimes. You turn into one of those guys that, or like you use the claw to open, then you realize you're doing direct game whether you know it or not. So like, you be careful you don't wind up at one of those guys like in the PUA alleys of the clubs. You guys know what the PUA alleys are? No. Pure had the craziest PUA alley. Hey, what's a PUA alley?
And everybody's just like grabbing girls.
Yeah, but like it's usually this like, it's like this wall of like fedora hats and wrist bracelets that are like up against an area. And as the girls walk past, it's like, right? It's just this like wall of PUAs trying to claw and grab bitches, right? Every club has some PUA alley. Yeah. It's always like five. It's always like 5 PUAs and like 2 black dudes. Yeah, because the black dudes just think they met like 5 like fedora hat salesmen, right? Because like you know the fedora hat would pick up. Like I'll never wear a fedora hat because the pickup people ruined the fedora hats. It's like, oh damn, you can't wear it now. So then the black guys just think that like they met 5 dudes who are like ballsy with girls. In reality, they just watch a lot of YouTube videos. So it's like the 2 black guys and the 5 PUAs and then like some confused people. And it's just like a lot of reaching and grabbing. So funny. Anyway, you don't want to escalate with the claw. You want to reward like. So the way that would happen is she says something, like you ask a question, she gives you a good bit of content, a good bit of investment, a good bit of skin in the game, and then you'd reward her with the claw and then a verbal reward as well, right? I love this one. Hey, you want to stand up real quick? So stand right here. Okay, cool. So, I'm not gonna do the verbal reward because I want you guys to come with verbal rewards, but it's anchored. It's like I can't tell you my phone password, but if you gave me my phone, I could type it in. Does that make sense? You guys ever like that? Yeah. I'm like the mind like connection is weird sometimes. So it's similar to this, but I don't want to give it away. So I'll go like this. So okay, verbal reward, and then it's like I'm polishing her off, basically, right? Have a seat. They love that one. I get so much play out of that one, and that's one that I never even thought like because I don't really even know what it means that much. Like I saw some dude do it once, and it worked really well, so I just started doing it, and I'm like, what's he really doing? Is he like, it's like he's polishing an apple or something, like.
Like his prize or some shit.
Kind of, yeah, but like the girl's just like, oh, thanks. Like they just light the fuck up from it. It's just like, oh, let's say so, yeah, verbal reward, and then you go, nice job, like it works really well. Cool. So any more physical? Cool. I mean, this like bit of technique and theory that you're learning today, even if like it sounds kind of like out of context because we're doing it in like a vacuum example, but it will get you so, it will boost your conversion rate so high of girls that you approach to actually close. It's unbelievable how well this works. It's also one of the highest impact things that I don't see PUAs doing very often. I reward every bit of it. I look at it like this. I want to layer as many bits of investment as possible because I want as much skin in the game from her. You guys understand that concept, skin in the game? Do they say that in Canada?
No.
No? But you understand it's pretty obvious? Okay.
Yeah.
Do they say it in Australia, skin in the game? Do you understand what it means?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a super common American expression too. Do you guys say it in Europe, skin in the game?
No, but
Okay, do you guys know what buy-in means as well? Like bought into something, bought into a concept, or bought into the interaction with you. The more buy-in you get from the girl, the more any way that you can take it. I was going to go off on a tangent, but I'll talk about that later because it's about like how to equate game and sales in a healthy way, not in an unhealthy way, because you are selling yourself. But if she's like, so if I'm like, hey, where's the favorite place you've ever traveled to? And then she describes this crazy backpacking through Europe trip or something, or a crazy South African trip, right? I want to go to South Africa really bad. Is that where you said you were? Yeah. I want to go there really bad. And she gives you this whole like maybe 5-minute story about this crazy like Cape Town trip and what, Lion's Head, or there's some Lion's Head thing. And then at the end of it, you're like, verbal reward, wow, you know, fist bump. You do like every physical reward that we just described. You only really got that like one layer of buy-in from the girl. Okay, so that's like option A. Option B is what I do, where I'm like, oh, what's the favorite place you ever traveled to? And then she goes, South Africa. And then I go, shut the fuck up. That's so, you know, and I say my verbal reward, I do it. And then I do my follow-up, and then she starts telling me more. And then I do another reward. Then she starts telling me more. And by the end of a 5-minute story, I've rewarded her like an annoying amount of times, where like PUAs will be standing there and they'll be like, what are you saying? Like, what do you do? Like, why are you doing that many times? Like, it looks silly, right? But the whole time you can see her face just brighten up. You can see she starts keynoting me. You can see good shit starts happening. And that's because instead of this like one chunk of buy-in, because every time that I reward her, I'm like putting a bookend to the investment that she's giving me. Does that make sense?
so often.
But like every little bit, not even often, every bit of investment she gives me to like an obnoxious hyperbolic degree.
Did it take a while to calibrate to it? So like,
Super while, yeah. Took a long time to calibrate to it.
Yeah, because I can see myself and like, oh my god, that's so good. And it just comes across as like fucking idiot.
It's like it wasn't so much of calibrating how to make it work, so much as me understanding that it's okay. Right? It took a while for me to just accept the fact that this isn't weird.
I think that's the biggest thing for me, yeah, because it's like cultivating everything. It's pretty weird for me.
But it was also weird for me though, because the first pickups, like the first person that ever talked to me about game was Neil Strauss over the phone, right? That's like I first heard about game, and then 30 minutes later, maybe an hour later, I was on the phone with Neil Strauss. The guy who got me into game was the founder of a tech startup that I was writing software for, and he was in the book The Game himself. And when I asked him about his fiance, I think I described this a little bit at one of my talks at Summit. I basically was like, "Yo, how'd you get such a hot fiance?" And he goes, "Oh, I was in this community thing called Pickup." And then he's like, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I was just talking to this guy. Yeah, why don't you talk to him real quick?" He's like, "It will mean nothing now, but it'll be cool later." And it meant nothing then, and it's cool now. Yeah. So then I found out about the game, and he was anyway. The founder of my tech company he had a chapter in the game dedicated to him, and there was he came up with like a lot of the routines that they used. He taught a few boot camps with Neil and Eric back in the day. You know the you take a girl home and like show her your music equalizer. You guys remember that? It's like a cool thing because you guys know what a music equalizer is. It's very visual. After a pullback from the club, you can easily just be like, hey, check this out. Play like some cool song that you or her like, or some trendy song, and then pop up the music equalizer and just watch it. You could watch it for a long time. It's kind of a neat thing. It's very visual.
Is that the Windows Media thing where it like goes like in and out, does all the weird shit?
That's like a graphic representation of the equalizer. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly that. That's literally what he was talking about. It's like super enlightening when you realize how powerful it is, and you realize how much of an actual genuine connection you're building with the person when you reward every bit of content that they tell you. When you reward it all, it's crazy how little the girls you're talking to care at all about what you have to say. You guys all understand that? You guys ever heard the whole what's your favorite topic? What is everyone's favorite topic of conversation? Themselves. Like just without a doubt, right? It's in like every self-help book from the first was written 100 years ago, right? Themselves. That's why you having really cool stories about your travels or you telling the girl interesting things about yourself doesn't really matter that much, right? At best, she's going to be kind of, and you guys have probably tested this, right? At best, she's going to be kind of intrigued and like, oh, that's really neat. But then it kind of like, she'll be impressed, but it dissipates a little bit after that. Does that make sense?
I pull a lot of girls just by telling them crazy stories.
You can. You definitely can. It's not that you can't pull a lot of girls from it, because like gaming a girl, you only have to do like 20% of the things correctly. Like just pulling like a quantity of girls, it's not like you have to do it all correctly. Yeah. We're talking about like conversion rates, right? Even practice this. Practice making her goal to try to get her to talk as little as possible and try to get her to tell you the same stories that you would be telling her. Does that make sense?
You act like really excited every time she tells you something, like you're really into it. Like,
yeah, because here's the thing, and that was probably the hardest. Thanks, bro. That was probably the hardest calibration for me. Yeah. What you just said, because I also don't really give a shit about what she's saying, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to fake it, not because that's disingenuous, but because it's a lot of work to like. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying by that? Like I don't want like every time a girl says something, I don't want to have to like pretend that I'm interested in the thing that she's saying and then reward in kind and then have these like big, weird, exacerbated fake things. So the reframe that I did in my mind, the reframe that I basically did in my mind is I'm rewarding the fact that she's putting so much content into the interaction, right? So yeah, that way it's like, wait. Because that one actually took me a long time to figure out. Because I was like, when I was first in the game, I was like, I didn't really care about being genuine, just to be frank. I just wanted results. I was like, I know I'm a good person, and I know that like when a girl hangs out with me, she's gonna have fun. So I'm like, who cares? I didn't really give a fuck about like how I got from point A to point B, or I guess A to Z, I guess. I didn't really care if I was genuine or not in that process. I just wanted it to work, right? But then I was like, then I realized, well, wait, no, but being genuine, like the irony is that the more authentic and genuine you are with the process, you end up getting the better result, right? But again, like what you were saying, I didn't really give a shit about the favorite place she's traveled to. Like I just didn't care. I tried to trick myself into caring. I don't know, you guys ever have a situation where like you're in mid-game with a girl and you know you should be talking to her, but you're like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Like, go get a hobby. You know what I mean? Like it happens over 75% of the girls you talk to. Like I just, you know what I mean? I just don't care, right? So instead, what I did was I reframed it into me being excited and rewarding just the effort that they're putting into the conversation. Not necessarily, it's like the Ku Klux Klan example is the one that I like to use a lot, right? So it's like, hey, what's your favorite hobby? And the girl's like, oh, I'm a charter member of the local Dallas Ku Klux Klan group. We meet up, we meet up at rallies. We actually do some house burnings. It's pretty wild. And I go, oh wow, that's really cool that you have something you're that passionate about. A lot of girls these days really just don't know what they're about. That's cool that you actually, one, have a passion, and two, can follow up on that and meet like-minded people. I really respect that about you, right? It's like I'm not respecting the fact that she's this like Ku Klux Klan member, right? Well, it is March now, so. That's what I'm respecting is the fact that she happens to have something she's passionate about. Like my big joke for the for the next like 4 or 5 months is gonna be feel the burn. Like I've been like yelling out of my cars, feel the burn. Like it's the Bernie Sanders quote, and I've been yelling make America great again. Like I've been yelling both, right? I 100% don't want Bernie Sanders to be president, but I've been talking to a bunch of people being like feel the burn and like getting them all riled up with it. And then like I've definitely hooked up with a couple Bernie Sanders like supporters, like women's like supporters, and then I was like I don't respect their opinions whatsoever, but like I don't need to. Like I respect the fact that we are doing this third-party conversation together. Does that make sense? Once you can separate that, this rewarding thing gets really calibrated. It kind of answers the thing that you were talking about earlier, because you're not rewarding their opinion about something. You're rewarding the fact that you both are creating this energy together. Did you see that? Did you see the high five hug?
Yeah.
That's so money. It's so money. Like, especially like the more masculine that you can be in your set. Like you seem like you're kind of a tough guy or masculine when you're out there. The more like aggressive you can be and then do retarded dorky shit like that, it's like this cognitive dissonance where it gets the girl's head spinning is amazing. Like I'll like, so like my family was sued all through my high school for 5 years. I've been arrested 3 times. Like I'll describe some like aggressive story about some aggressive act that I've done in the past, and then I'll do shit like, oh, high five, hug. And then they're like, wait. Like you can see their brain like hurting because they're like, wait, who who's this guy? Like, you know, it's weird, right? It doesn't make sense. It's called cognitive dissonance. The more cognitive dissonance you can get, the better it's gonna be. That high five hug is money. What are a couple? You guys have got to think of a couple more of these. I think they're all great. We already have plenty, but I like to take her hand and brush it against my. This is sexual escalation. This isn't really much of a reward, but I like to high five. So like, you can stand up real quick so they can see. So like, you can stand over. So like, every time I high five a girl, it's like this. So it's like, oh, high five me. Ready? High five. And then I'll just, oh, that's so cool. And then I'll like hold her hand down here for a little bit. Right? So the high five turns into like a 5-second handhold. And it's like, oh, okay. And I'll just pull her into me. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. And then like, with a girl, it'd be 2 inches this way. But we're just gonna leave it right here for now. But then, and I would just like hold it there.
Right.
It's crazy how long, thank you. It's crazy how long the girl like doesn't know that her hand is grazing my cock. And then eventually she'll just be like, and it's not meant to be direct. It's meant to be very happenstance. Where it's like, oh, high five, hand hold, and then it just like rests there. And like her whole hand would like be on my dick. And then she's just like, and then like as we're talking, eventually she'll like, oh, and then like she'll like freak out and I go, what? And she goes, nothing. Like, I love when you talk dirty to me. And then like you like reframe it back into the conversation. It's really good. Verbal rewards.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. What else? You're amazing. What else? Give me one.
Just you're really cute. All right.
No, that's not bad. That's good. That's good. But cute has a certain word. Like, cute has a connotation to it that makes it work. Because cute doesn't necessarily mean that you find her physically attractive, right? Cute is kind of like a little condescending, sarcastic, but also a positive overall. Like cute can be taken a lot of different ways. Every time we said that's so cool in some of our footage, we'd do a shot. Because like we were like, dude, how often do you think we say that's so cool? And like we got so lit, we're like rolling on the floor laughing by the end of it, being like, oh, fuck you. Because we got so drunk, because we said that's so cool like 35 times in a 2-hour interaction. That's so cool. That's cool. That's so cool, right? Because it's such a good default one to use. And you're gonna find that there's some defaults that you can use that just blend with your personality that you can just put in like into it. And you're gonna find that variety is the killer of a lot of game success. Being bored with something that you're doing means you're doing it consistently enough to have success with it, right? Variety maybe will boost your spirits or maybe you'll have fun with it. But if you can kind of dumb things down or put them in lowest common denominator, what I mean by lowest common denominator is you have some stock things that you use that you just know are going to achieve results. When you do that, it kind of motivates you and powers you through, right? So that's so cool. What are a couple others? I think you already said one, right? What?
No fucking way.
Yeah, and say it just like that.
Yeah. He was totally
Dude, there was definitely one night last week in Miami where I was like, how do I talk like this guy for the whole day? And I just tried to repeat everything the way you. I was like, no fucking way. And I'm so bad at impressions, but the whole. And the girl would like say something, and I was like, so what you're saying is. And then she would say something, I would go, okay then.
right down.
And then I went like this, because that's what you're like. Oh. These are all amazing stock ones. If you want to make it a little bit better, you can use words like basically words that like a father would give his. Almost it's as creepy as this sounds. Almost anything that like a father would like, how a father would communicate with his daughter is amazing. Have you guys heard this before? The way a father would communicate with his daughter is how you should talk to girls you're trying to fuck. Sounds super creepy. I'm aware, and like I'm sure I'm gonna have like 6 daughters one day to like fuck with my head, like get back at me. You know, that's like God getting back at me. Yeah. And they're all gonna be like raging whores. And it's like, fuck. But basically, it's like the example of this is wow, I really respect a person like you who does fill in the blank, the thing they just mentioned, right? Oh wow, I'm really proud of. So it's like that's so cool. I really respect a girl who actually has some ambition in life and follows her dreams and completes XYZ task. You know, I think, you know, it's probably just a habit. That's the first time anyone's ever like called me out on that. I think that's just a habit that I do because I find that anytime I talk in the third person with me and a girl, it always gets a better result. So it just kind of like bled into that, because that right there doesn't really matter that much. But in general, if you're talking in like the third person to the girl, you're going to get better results than talking like about her specifically. Yeah, you want to like take it a step further. That's just a little bit more risky, but also really good. Is like when she goes, oh, she's going to respond with like a blush or a thank you, or she's going to respond like, say, no, stop. I don't think you understand how awesome it is that then fill in the blank. Yeah. And like then they're just like so taken aback that then you do the follow-up question, or the follow-up qualifier rather, and then they just unload this huge story on you. Just be ready for this huge pile of manure. This huge amazing investment from the girl.
I should zone out for about 5 minutes after.
Huh?
I should zone out for about 5 minutes after I say it.
I mean, here's the problem with communication. Here's the problem with like being authentic, right? Is that you don't, like when you try to be authentic, you're not really authentic anyway, right? Like the act of trying to be authentic, the irony there is that you lose the authenticity kind of. So, it can be exemplified by the fact that for a girl to like think that you're listening to her, you could be ignoring her the entire conversation, but then just be able to repeat the last 2 sentences she said back to her, and then she's going to talk about how amazing, like, not only will she say how amazing of a listener you are, she's going to say you're an amazing conversationalist. That's the one that like drove me nuts for a long time. When I was first realizing that all people want to do is talk about themselves, is I would talk for a few sentences, and the girl would just talk and talk and talk and talk, and I would start getting these crazy compliments about how good of a conversationalist I am, and how good of like a communicator I am. And I'm like, bitch, I said nothing. What are you talking about? You hogged the whole conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's just interesting. And like, you could also, the other thing is true as well. You could also like completely be like physically be zoning out, but totally be engaged and hear what she's saying. Like, say you're like looking at the ocean or something, totally hear what the girl's saying, and then have her be like, why aren't you paying attention? And you're like, what are you talking about? I am paying attention. And then like, you know the content of what she's saying because you're authentically listening and being genuine, but she'll still be super mad at you because you couldn't like repeat the last sentence she said. So, use that to your advantage basically. The last couple sentences she says, that's what you're rewarding on. I wouldn't say zone out, but yeah. I love the dick percentage one.
Yeah, dude, that
right?
shit is so funny.
Have you used it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she says, you ask her a question, she says a bunch of stuff, and then a bunch of content, and then you go, wow, that's great. You got me at like 30% right now. And the girl's like, what? Should they always like give you like a what or a confused, but they know what you're talking about? You go, stop. It's like 40 now. 45%. You have to stop. All right, cool. We're back to 30. Right? You're like basically you're rewarding her with the percentage of your erection. Is what the point is of that? The cool thing of that is you can use callback game later in the interaction, and like I love like kissing a girl and then like pulling back and being like 85, and the girl's like, wait, what? And be like, think about it. And then she'll go, ew, oh my God, I can't believe you said that, blah, blah, blah. And I'll take her hand. I'm like, no, seriously, grab my cock. Come here, I'll show you. And then she's like, what? No, I'm not going to grab it. And the second I have her, like in her mind, I mean, this is taking the routine a little bit far, but basically the second I have her being like, yeah, I'll, like, it's so funny. The first time when you're like, oh, grab my cock, you take her hand, she always pulls away. But then she kind of like gives you her hand almost every time. And it's so funny because I'm like it's a bit that I'm doing. I'm not actually going to put her hand on my dick, but it's just so funny how easy it would be for you to just put her hand on your dick, right? So instead, I take her hand, I put it like on my knee, and I'm like, here, grab my cock, and like I slap my knee like right here with it, and then she laughs because my dick is obviously not by my knee, and then she'll laugh, and I go, but here, no, you got to really fondle my balls, and I'll lift up my pant leg, and then she like just laughs, and now we're both like bantering and laughing because I'm pretending that my balls are to my fucking ankle, right? Yeah, so you go, hey, what's your favorite part of Dallas? She goes, White Rock Lake. You say,
Well, I think that's really cool. I like it out there too.
yeah. That's a good start. It's a good start. Even more, like when I say elaborate, I don't necessarily mean exaggerated. I mean like a 360-degree view around it, right? So it's like, all right, so I'm like, oh, what's your favorite part? What's your favorite part of Dallas? She goes, White Rock Lake. You could be like, shut up. I don't believe you. And she'll go, why? I go, what do you mean, White Rock Lake? That's my favorite part. I walk White Rock Lake every time I go to Dallas. Don't tell me that's your favorite part. And then she, like, you're almost like, you're telling her no, and you're acting so surprised that she's going to go, yeah, and then she's going to fight back and be like, no, it is my favorite part. And then you go, okay, that's crazy, that's awesome. And then you build this huge commonality together. Does that make sense? Obviously, only build the commonality if you have that in common with her. But what holds true is the more you act surprised, the more excited she's going to get, and the more genuine you're going to be in the conversation. Make sense? Cool. So instead of just going, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? She's like, backpacking through Europe. It's like my standard crazy thing for some reason. Backpacking through Europe. And then you go, instead of going, wow, that's really cool, right? You can be like, shut up. No, you didn't. And she'll go, yeah, I did. And you'll be like, no, you? And she'll go, yeah. I'll be like, that's awesome. That is so fucking cool. Tell me more. And tell me more is just a verbal qualifier. And then you give her this huge, like, this almost like aggressive kind of reward where you're like, no, you didn't. That's really fucking cool. When you do that, it's basically what you're doing is you're challenging her, so the next bit of content she gives you is a lot bigger. It's a lot more involved. Does that make sense? The thing about the comfort building is this. You can easily get too much attraction. The shirt of attraction can easily get wet, and then that's it. It just dies out, right? You can easily, once the shirt is wet, you can't get any wetter, basically, right? That whole expression. With comfort, you can't have too much comfort. You can't have too much trust, right? Especially when you talk about like the stuff that I'm doing right now, about how it kind of looks like it's a little bit friend zone-ish. Imagine tying that though in with the glass on the butt opener, right? You tie them both together, and now it's not friend zone-ish, right? The thing about the man to woman stuff, right? That's the thing that I saw a lot of guys do. I don't really see the verbal banter too much as I saw the like aggressive man to woman. And I was just like, whoa, you need to be a lot less man and a little more woman here, because this is like I see these guys just being so man to woman, and I'm like they're like doing man to woman like instead of verbal game, like some of these like some of the newer guys, huh? Like they'd walk up to a girl basically, and then they would just like get so physical imposing, and then they would like keynote the girl and like be very aggressive because they feel like they needed to assert themselves, kind of, right? I don't know. What are some other man to like two man to womanish kind of things that you guys have seen? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe this is what you said, that guys are just
Yeah. Okay, so the PUA alley, that's two man to woman. I think any claw open ever, I think is two man to woman. I think any sort of like, you know like the tap open. I think the tap open, I think that's way too way too aggressive. The problem is you're going direct physically, and then it's not matched at all verbally. So it's like, it's just way too much too soon without getting anything out of it. I want the girl to be keynoting me. I want to flip that, right? So if you're doing any keynote to the girl, you better be getting something out of it. And when I say getting something out of it, I mean you should be getting the reward out of it.